Hello and welcome to the Outcast. I'm your host HC, and with me is.
Wolf.
And today, this was an episode I wasn't ever expecting to make. Like, ever. I think this is also the first time we're covering a Kickstarter.
Yeah, this is a first. I mean, I guess we've done news before, so this is news. Especially
I
about,
guess.
as a matter of fact, it is dragon related news. So we're on brand.
Well, on brand, this is not how to turn your dragon specifically, but yes. Well, I kind of figured that considering our history with this particular franchise, we kind of have to talk about this. And I re-listened to our season 7 episode before this recording. I listened to it earlier today. I'm amazed by how much we were kind of calling it and by how much we were completely not in the direction of what was about to happen.
Hmm.
Well, anyway, obviously, if you can't look at the title or the thumbnail, we are talking about the new Kickstarter for the Dragon King. Now, what is the Dragon King, you might ask? It is
Hashtag not
Arc
my king.
3. Um,
We we
sure.
we we, we are toothless supporters here. No, no,
well,
no, we're winger supporters.
Okay, this is no, I don't agree to this. Toothless for the win, but we can't really confirm this with other franchises. So
Yeah,
what can you do?
toothless and his prince, I don't even remember his fucking name from Nine Realms.
Thunder?
Thunder, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no. But Thunder's not a dragon. He's a cow. Boom, bada bing, bada
This
boom.
is true.
But
This
then,
is true. Anyway.
any, anyway, like you can tell this is going to be fun when I couldn't even introduce the damn thing, and you already just have absolutely nothing to say about the topic and just cracking jokes. Like, if this is
It's
not a
what I
good
do.
setup for this, I don't know what is. But anyway, the Dragon King. You know how they said that season 7 is going to be the end? Yeah, that ended up being bullshit. It was bullshit when it premiered, and it's bullshit even more now. And for the record, I am aware that they said maybe they would do Arc 3 if they'll allow him, but let's save this for a moment. We'll get to this in a second. But I guess just to kind of quickly summarize it, in case you haven't listened to our previous Dragon Prince coverage, we really like Act 1. We think the first 3 seasons are great. Season 1 is good. Season 2 and 3, great. If I remember correctly,
Yeah.
this was our
Yeah.
general
It,
take,
it, it
right?
was definitely it released and for the first I think first 3 seasons of the first arc, right? Hello?
Yes, yes. Arc 1 is seasons 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Act 2 is seasons 4 to 7.
Yeah, I think we both agreed that, 1 through 3, it started off a little rough, but did nothing but get better from there. It, continued to get better. Then we got into
That's why I
arc
said
2 and
Arc 2, season 4 is still like was quickly added to a list of episodes where I think I was too nice on it looking back because boy that season was nothing after so many years of waiting.
But we'll say, if I'm not mistaken, season 5 and season 6 kind of brought it back. Season 6 was a little up and down
Oh,
within the
you don't
season.
remember season 5 we were absolutely against. We were
No, yeah,
mad
that's
at season
right.
5.
Season
We were
6.
season 6 was good,
Yeah, season
but
6 is what brought
season
it back.
5, I think season 5 was one of the episodes you and I got really angry at some point because we wanted the
Listen,
show to do well, and this was just not it.
season
But
7 is the one I remember the most at this point
Eh, well,
because
I
it's the
think
freshest.
I tell you what, because like we said, season 6 was already like a step up. We're like, okay, we're back into the groove of things. Let's
Hmm.
do this.
Hmm.
And then season 7, not only was it weak after season 6 led us to believe we're getting back on track, but it was also the supposed finale, and there was no finale. Barely anything closed was like it the plot that they promised us to finish up wasn't really finished up. It's like, yeah, we killed Erebos. Oh, okay, he can come back in 7 years. Cool.
Yeah, I'll say, right, I get what they were going for, and it would be an interesting way to end a show, but this show didn't really, they dropped the ball hard and didn't really earn that kind of ending, right? That's the kind of ending that you have to like, you have to really nail it. They did not nail it at all. If I'm not mistaken, that's
And
what I said.
yeah, that's basically the sum up of it. But then what really pissed me off when I thought about this in retrospect, Netflix are like the kings of canceling animated shows in the middle and not renewing them, and they're ending at some sort of either a cliffhanger or like a tease that something is coming when it's actually not.
Yeah.
You want example? Look at what happened with Inside Job.
Mm,
Look at what happened to Paranormal Park. And the only I think the only time I've seen a Netflix show get to season 3 in recent years with an animated show, it's either the Cuphead show or Sonic Prime. Ironically, two animated shows based on a video game, but also those two series were technically one season, which they split up into three in terms of a release order. So even that's not really a renewal, and it kind of makes me even angrier at the Dragon Prince that they were given 4 seasons to tell a story and conclude it properly. And they couldn't even do that. They were just trusting the ratings that they would even get an Arc 3. To be honest with you, that's really freaking shady looking back, and it's going to become even more shady as we continue with this episode. I guarantee you. So, just considering what I just said, what do you think about this prospect that suddenly, oh, we have an Arc 3 coming up, even though we promised that season 7 is going to be the last one? What do you think? What's your take on this?
I listen. I have a love hate relationship with this show. I feel at this point. I think we both do. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
do, especially after the ending for season 7. Right?
Hmm.
I I would be willing to say I'm okay with it, and I do hope this is its redemption arc. You know that the show is able to come back and really just fucking nail it. Right?
Hmm.
I don't know how big or long they plan on making Arc 3. You know, we don't know any
It's three
details yet.
seasons.
Oh, three
We know
seasons?
that it's 3 seasons.
Okay.
Seasons 8, 9, and 10.
So y- they would have to nail it every single season, in my opinion. I think if they dropped the ball even once, for me at least, I would say just no, not worth.
So, and this is connecting to the biggest part of this announcement because, as I mentioned, this is a Kickstarter.
Hmm.
Netflix said no, and apparently this was like a big thing because at San Diego Comic Con happened like last month, I think,
Yeah,
and apparently Wonderstorm had a panel there, and people were like, "Oh, there's a panel. What are they going to say? Did Netflix actually give them the green light for an Act 3? Turns out that Netflix told them, go fuck yourselves, like they do to a lot of other animated projects, and but also that there is no other distributor. They couldn't find a distributor with either Amazon or Hulu or enter streaming service here, really. There's no one funding this. So there's a Kickstarter, and for at the time of this recording, the Kickstarter hasn't officially launched
no.
yet. It's still listed as launching soon, but
We should point
this is
out
Robin.
we should
Yeah.
point out, right, that this Kickstarter, they are doing the smart thing, in my opinion, because let's be clear, you cannot kickstart a show like this at all. You will not make enough money. You will make enough money to even like looking back at Critical Role, right? excuse me, the way they were going to do Vox Machina at first was, hey, here's the funding goal we need to reach. We're going to make, like, I think it was 3 or 4 short episodes.
In
And
a
Vox,
way, they were going for a pilot to show distributors who wants to pick it
no,
up.
they had no plans to do anything other than that. Not even a pilot. They had no plans to make that a feature length show. Right? That was
Yeah.
their deal. They kind of just they just kind of accidented their way into making a full show because the Kickstarter did so well that
Well,
eventually
to be
Amazon came in and said, "Yo, you got a lot of interest in this," and pulled the trigger. And then they made the full feature length show that you saw, which was Vox Machina. It wasn't even going to have the same
yeah.
animation when they were going to do it,
To,
right?
to be honest, though, not to say that what happened with Critical Role isn't amazing, right? And
Yeah,
like,
no, no, fair.
uh, and having now seen, Vox Machina, check our episodes, check the episodes where we review it.
Hmm.
I think this is essentially a good. This is essentially you're asking for support from people who appreciate you and believe in you
Hmm.
to help you fund a pilot to pitch to studios. Essentially, it's another way of getting those funds to because this is essentially how the process works. You make a pilot, you make this concept of here's what the show is going to be like in its very concept, and sometimes the animation is different, some character designs are different, voice actors don't even reprise their roles after the pilot, and then you send us to studios, and they're like, we want that, we want to pick it up, and that's how you get a show going.
The Kickstarter
So
also helps to show, hey, there is interest in this, right? There's a lot of interest in this. Like that's what helped for Vox Machina because it crushed all of its funding goals, and I think was one of if not the most funded Kickstarter on Kickstarter at that time. it,
mhm.
it, it showed that, oh shit, there's a lot of interest in this, and so Amazon or other people, I'm assuming, we're willing to pick it up and say, okay, let's make this into a full feature length show and
And
everything.
there's also to bring up another story, the Veronica Mars movie. The
Hmm.
reason that movie happened was because Warner Brothers was like, "Hey, if they told the show's creator, if you find a way to fund this, we're gonna give you the green light." So they turned to Kickstarter, and at the time it was like the fastest achieved goal in a Kickstarter project for a movie. That was insane back then. And but now comes the point where I say, with Critical Role, you were essentially funding a pilot for them. You kind of knew what you were gonna get because people who supported it were most likely fans of the you
Yeah, of
know
the
of
tabletop
the
game.
D
Yeah,
and
of
yeah
the
of
D&D
the
game.
D and
Yeah,
D campaign. Yeah.
they were
So and also
fans,
voice.
and like Critical Role was very upfront, like, hey, we can't make a full show, animated show with this is not enough money. You need far, far more money, even for a show like Dragon Prince. Like, say, I think Critical Role ended up with $8 million. That's not enough to make a
Uh,
full episode of the Dragon Prince, right?
No, not at all, and we are gonna get there. And I just brought up Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars was also like a matter of yes, there's studio interest, but since they weren't sure, some funding had to come from another way.
Mhm.
So I get that. Now with the Dragon King, though, if I'm honest with you, this is all. This is kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I guess it's very sussy in my eyes
Hmm. I can see what you mean.
because, for the record, again, like I said, with a critical role, this is something that they really want to do, but they didn't have the means. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Understandable. Veronica Mars. It was a franchise that was dormant for a long time. The studio kind of gave and known about it. I understand, and also that wasn't really done back in the day. So sure, whatever. Here, this is it honestly feels like they're extorting fans for money, if you ask me.
I can see why you would think that, right? I get it. I don't know if I fully agree, but I
So
get why
let me ask you
you
this:
think that.
why? But is so you get why I think that? But I'm interested. Why don't you? I want to hear that. I'm legit
Hmm.
curious. I'm legitimately curious.
What I think it is, and I could be wrong with it, but from reading the Kickstarter and going through it and everything, and it's not a ton there, but
Which we will do in a
yeah,
bit. But yes.
from my perusal, it seems to
Hmm.
me, again,
Yes.
this is all assumption, this is all hearsay. Do not quote me. I have no fucking clue. I am not an insider.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think they already have interest from a studio, from a production company, right? That's willing to help them produce this, like, say, Amazon, for instance, considering who they've gotten involved. We'll get there. I think they already have
Hmm.
interest, but that studio is not willing to pull the trigger fully. And I think this is basically like a Veronica Mars sort of deal where they want to see if there's enough interest.
Then if that's the case, then they are not transparent about it at all.
No,
And you could be right.
it could be, but
There's a
I could
good
be fully
possibility.
wrong too. They may not have a
Th-
zero interest, right? Which
There
is
you go.
also an issue because that to me, even if you are naive about what you're doing, that then leaves me the question of I want to see what they're planning on doing when this Kickstarter launches and if they give more information. What are you going to do if you get this Kickstarter funded and there's still zero interest
That's exactly why this rubs me the
from a
wrong way,
production company?
because this isn't like you said when Critical Role was mentioned earlier. You can't fund a whole animated show, 3 seasons, mind you, through Kickstarter.
No, like I said,
There's
Critical
no way.
Role got $8 million, and that was enough to make, I think, like 3 or 4 short, small episodes, and would not have been animated the same way Vox Machina, the show,
Ex-
was animated.
e- exactly. So essentially, what they are asking our money essentially to animate a new pilot, to animate a pitch, to show people, people are willing to throw money at this. Give us the money, it will come, and we'll provide the ratings for you. You need to believe in this. And I'll be honest with you, considering Wonderstorm are also the IP holders, they are the people, and this is a full-on production company,
Mm.
as we know. I'm not saying that they necessarily have the money just laying around, right? But I'm also thinking, if this is going to just be another pilot that there's a good chance might not get picked up by anyone after it's funded, then you're asking for people's money, not knowing if they're going to see the result of it one day.
Yeah, so the question there comes in, are you planning on refunding people if nothing comes from this? Or are you just going to say, hey, we used the money to make this thing. Here's like half of, or maybe just one episode. I don't think they'll make enough money to make
Eh,
one full episode.
Well,
But
well, again, I think considering the Kickstarter rules and that and that people are required to pay money, whatever the final product is gonna look like, be it a pilot episode or just like a test animation or whatever, then the people who donated will most likely see it.
yeah,
However, seeing a short animated pilot is not going to cut it in this case, because and again, I have to get back to this. This is right now, this Kickstarter to some people is the only way to see Act 3 come to fruition.
mhm.
So if this pilot fails in case it's funded, people has essentially given away money for nothing, and the only way they'll see season 3, Act 3, is if by some miracle a studio decides to pick it up years after the fact.
I
And I don't think, and I'm sorry, I think it's a douchey move. It's a very, it's an assholey move
I
for
think
to
that's fair.
put to give your
I
audience.
do think some people will look at this and say that they're okay with that. That if all they get is just a fully funded pilot episode and that's it, they're okay if it never nothing else ever comes from it because they at least gave it a shot, right? I
I
think some people will say
suppose,
that, and that's also a fair statement and opinion to have.
uh,
But I think
by
your
all means,
opinion is
it's
also completely fair. If you feel like, yeah, I don't like this, this doesn't feel good to me, and I would rather you just do nothing than do this. Or hell, do a
so
fucking comic book or some shit. I don't know. That's cheaper,
yeah.
easier to make.
So
Do a
I tell you
do
what,
a novel.
in the case in case what you're saying is ruined, there are people who would just be happy with getting a pilot to see where things could have gone. If this is what rocks people's boat and they completely understand and they want it, more power to you if you are included within these people. I'll never take this away for you. However, as again, seeing how they got 4 seasons up front from Netflix, promising that we're going to get an ending, and then be like, lol, no, now we need you to fund a pilot so that maybe we can finish the story. For reals, it's all the bad vibes. Bad, just no. No, I'll be upfront. I am not planning to support this. I am sorry. I
And that's fair.
can't.
I'll be honest, I don't even know if I would support it. And not even for the same reasons. It's just I I similar reasons, but also on top of that, I don't know if I have that kind of interest in this show. If you do, go for it, support it. I will stand by. I want to see what the full Kickstarter says before I would even commit to supporting it, right? That's number 1 for me. Number
But I
2
guess I will
is
say,
it's just
sorry,
oh go
you
ahead.
finish.
No, go
Sorry.
ahead.
Okay, just quickly to say, if it ends up happening, we'll get seasons 8, 9, and 10. I'll watch them for sure.
Yeah,
But if it depends on me shelling out money for a company that I have to be honest with you, I don't really trust, I'm
that's fair.
sorry. I can't do that.
That's fair. And I would agree. Like I don't as of right now, I'm not committing to supporting it. I have to see what they're offering and what their plans fully are when they launch the full Kickstarter and start talking
Mhm.
more. And even then, I'm still very much on the fence if I would support or not, and leaning more towards not. Like you, I don't fully trust Wonderstorm anymore at this point, and even more than that, it's just mm, there's an entire conversation I feel we could have on hey, if there is already interest from a partner who's willing to fully fund the show, like say Amazon or Netflix or anyone else for instance. I don't think it's
Mhm.
going to be Netflix, but just as an example, right? If there
Yes.
is interest there already, but they're using this to gauge if it's worth or not, I don't like what that entails for the future. I didn't like it for Veronica Mars. We'll be upfront and honest. I don't
Mm,
like that. That's what we're starting. I don't like that we're potentially starting that trend of hey, insert show here may or may not get made. First, fund it on this Kickstarter, and then maybe we'll choose to make it for you. It's like, mm,
if I may pull a comparison, as a fan of both Veronica Mars and the Dragon Prince, for one, when Veronica Mars did it, it was like 2013, 2014, because the movie was released in 2014,
mhm.
right? So again, this was like the first time somebody actually did this, but also because it was a movie, then that what they had to deliver on something that you could make via just donations, right? Because funding a movie is a lot, and not to say that it's easy by any means, no way, but a feature film's budget, and especially live action, where you don't have to worry about all the details that animation does. A live action movie that's low on effects as well. It's a lot easier to fund than a season's arc of animation. we
That's
are talking about
fair.
we are talking about we are talking about two completely different budgets. So when you donate it to the Veronica Mars Kickstarter, then you knew that you probably didn't really know if it was gonna get made or not, because you can never know if a project is going to get fully funded. However, there was more of a promise that you were going to get that movie should you fund it, and also the fucking thing was funded in less than 24 hours. So you didn't even have time to think about it. We got the movie, and the movie is great, by the way. We
That's
need to talk about Veronica Mars at some point.
fair enough.
Anyway,
That's
and
fair. I
but
still don't know how I still don't personally feel like I like this idea, but
I'm not saying you
we'll see
do,
how
but
it
it was
goes in the
like
forward what goes forward in the future, right? Like, do companies start doing this more? Mm,
because this is kind of the way I shift here, because in the world of video games, oh boy, are there some stories of Kickstarter campaigns which were just went to absolute hell. Looking at you,
true.
Mighty Number Nine, looking at you. But to be fair, this was one project that was very poorly managed, and the communication was non-existent. If you want to know all about that shitstorm, you can look up YouTube. You'll find something covering it, I guarantee.
Mm,
But again, I think, but also again with video games, it always seems to be that Kickstarter for these kinds of projects is now used to, hey, you remember this thing that existed like years ago, but then vanished, and you want to see it back? Mighty Number Nine with Mega Man, Ukulele with Banjo Kazooie. You
mm,
see my point here.
yeah.
People use this in order to make something they love for a specific audience that wants, whether or not it comes out good. The two examples I brought up didn't turn out all that well, but we also had Shantae have Genie Hero, which again, also a big company, Way Forward,
What is
has
that?
done a lot of games. That has done a lot of games for Disney, Nickelodeon, and stuff. But for one of their IPs, their big IP, one of the games was kickstarted through was crowdfunded through Kickstarter. Is it something to say, yes, they did it well, Dragon King does not? Not necessarily, but I'm saying there's also a chance it's gonna be good. But again, one video game is not 3 seasons of television. I have to preface this. The budget is way different. If this is funded, you are probably not going to get those 3 seasons. There's no way in hell.
Fair.
What was even the point of anymore? We just started talking about Kickstarters, but
Eh.
uh,
Well, talking about Kickstarters, let's talk about this one specifically and some of the stuff you can find on the page if you don't want to load it up. I'll have a link to it in the description, so it's there.
yep. So, do you want to start reading it?
Well, I
Let's do a bit
mean,
of a riddle.
they have their announcement video at the very top. If you want to watch that, you can. But it starts off with The Dragon King is a new animated epic fantasy series that brings together the visionary creators behind three incredible fandoms: The Dragon Prince, Avatar The Last Airbender, and Critical Role. That cough, cough. That's why I
Pause.
mentioned them before.
Pause. Pause right there. For one, already in this first paragraph, a new animated epic fantasy series. Not necessarily true, because this is the Dragon Prince. Just because it has a different name, it's still that show. So so now let's assume someone never heard of the
Have you
Dragon
read
Prince.
this yet, HC? I have a quick question. Have you read this at all yet?
I did.
You did?
That's
Okay.
why I
No,
want
no,
to
no,
read
no.
it with
No,
you.
no, no. Fair, fair. Because it's
But
the
yeah,
next bit that has me going, hmm.
oh, there are a lot of bits, but okay, just want to comment on that.
No, no,
Go
fair, fair.
on.
So here's where we get a bit of a story blurb. On the cusp of vanishing into legend, the last of the archdragons, the young dragon king Zim, he's back, wields his great power to forge a fragile peace in Zadia. But when a forsaken and forgotten dragon prince returns from the shadows of exile, Zim uncovers a truth long buried. The throne he inherited may not have been his to claim, and the true heir has come to take it back.
Well, look at that. The same problems Act 2 had. Good job. You learn from your
Yeah,
mistakes.
I this is probably some of my issue with reading this. Maybe they'll be able to win me over, but it's like if you're and this is the other issue with this being a new animated epic fantasy, like you do, and we will get there, but you do mention in this Kickstarter that, like, hey, if you like the Dragon Prince, we're going to answer some of the mysteries and questions we didn't answer with that show in this show. Cool, but why are we bringing in what sounds like a new villain on top of it all? And what are
It's
we
I'm
doing
not
about the whole deal with, our biggest enemy that was basically going to destroy the world, Erebos, coming back in 7 years? Are we just going to, like, yeah, that was 7 years ago. That's already happened. We've moved on from that now. Like, that was like a couple years ago or however long ago. So, he came back. We defeated him. Don't ask any questions about the details. Looks away from camera, whistling innocently.
and also and you a forgotten dragon prince which lived in exile. Is this fan fiction?
Hmm. I mean,
I
fair. I hadn't thought about that, but fair.
That's such a fan fiction line, and I am
This is
sorry if it
Wonderstorm's.
sounds like
This
I'm
is
in.
Wonderstorm's new OC. Do not steal.
I am so sorry to actual fan fiction writers if it
Oh
sounds like I'm
shit!
insulting you. It's not the intention.
Listen,
But it doesn't sound real. It sounds like something out of a fan fiction.
I have a
And I
comment
hate
I
that.
want to make, but I'm gonna wait.
Go for
No,
it.
no, no. I gotta wait. We've not got there. I gotta wait.
Okay, okay.
So go ahead.
So next paragraph.
Yeah. So The Dragon King is an all new story that welcomes an all new audience. We have formed this artistic supergroup, in quotes, to craft a truly extraordinary new adult animated series. So it seems like we might be not aimed at a younger audience this time, potentially. You can expect world class, iconic storytelling from this dream team, epic, dangerous, and complex. But it cannot happen without you. Star
Well,
power.
well, no, no, no. Let's wait on the star power. Let's go back to this fucking paragraph because everything collapses with this paragraph. One super group to craft a truly extraordinary new adult animated series. And you can expect world class iconic storytelling from this dream team, maybe in the past. If Act 2 taught me anything, is that this dream team lost their touch. I am sorry. But also,
There.
let me ask you a question. Who is this aimed at? Why would you go through the trouble of making the Dragon King, which is and mentioning that it comes from the people behind the Dragon Prince and Avatar: The Last Airbender and Critical Role? You are making this for the Dragon Prince fans. They are the ones you are counting on to fund you in order for to gain
Well,
interest.
also, this
You
worries me too. What
and
do you mean by adult
and
animated?
before we get to that, well, you know what? Let's actually get to it now. The Dragon Prince premiered in 2018, was it right?
Yes, September of 2018.
Yeah. So 2018. That means that, let's assume a kid watched this when they were 6 or 7.
I feel you'd probably
That
be
means
older than
so
that, maybe.
they're now 13, 14. So I can kind of see. I don't really mind the new adult animated series because, in a way, this is growing with its audience. Don't really mind that. I'm not sure what they mean by adult, though. Is it
Yeah.
going to because let's say the Dragon Prince never really shied away from violence, but how adult are we talking about here? Is it going to be
Are we
like
talking
Vox
Vox
Machina?
Machina adult?
Yeah, like because if Amazon picks it up, then you know what? Yeah, this is in the same network as Vox Machina and Invincible and all of those other anime and Has Been Hotel and all of those other animated gory shows. And it's like, what do you mean there?
Would that
But
make you more or less interested, though?
it all comes down to the story eventually, essentially.
Fair.
So,
It,
eh,
I
but then,
will
but
say it would be
mhm.
fucking hilarious. Because again, right? Think of it. Callum, Sokka's voicing him and just seeing him fucking eviscerate someone with a wind spell that just turns them to like some kind of insert gory mess here. That is so fucking just wild, and the juxtaposition just I don't know if it fits. I don't know. I I don't know. Again, we don't know if that's what we're gonna get. But just thinking for a minute, that's what we might be getting when they use
Yeah.
the word adult here.
Mm-hmm.
Will Dragon Prince fans be interested in that? Because there is a very specific aspect to this show, and there's a very like tone to this show that, or to the Dragon Prince that may not fit, right? And again, I think that's why they're prefacing it with this all new animated, to try and
Which I was getting
distance
to.
itself. But mm, mm,
Because I tell you what, if I might as well bring this up as a comparison, but before this, I just have to say again, you are counting on the Dragon Prince fan base to fund this thing.
mhm.
And then you advertise it as an all new story that welcomes an all new audience. So who is this actually aimed at? The Dragon Prince fans or completely new people, and you're just using this world as your basis? Because if that's the case, why have Zim in there at all? Why not focus on something else in this giant world that you created?
Mm. But next paragraph, here's the big one.
Yeah, but to answer your other question in terms of would people be interested in it? I tell you what, you know how Race to the Edge was a bit darker than Riders and Defenders of Berk
Mm-hmm.
with How to Train a Dragon. I think in a way, I think this is what they might try to aim
That's what
for.
I'm thinking too, like a
Um,
more serious, somewhat more serious, less jokey compared to what the Dragon Prince was at times. More
yeah,
slightly
but
darker story.
the problem though is that let's assume that Riders and Defenders of Berk was PG, then Race to the Edge was PG-13. It's like, okay, we aged it up, we grew up with the audience, but we also, keeping it relatively safe here. We're not doing. This sounds like we're jumping from PG to R, and
We'll see.
we'll see. I'm just saying, and all new adult anime because you realize that these days saying adult animated series sets people's
Yeah, because it very
mind
much
in
because
that direction,
it means
in
a
the
very
direction of
specific
Vox.
thing, at least as of right now. Whether you think it should or not, whether you agree with what that means, doesn't matter. Generally, when people say adult animation, there's very specific thoughts their mind go to, and a lot of the times that's some of your Amazon stuff like Vox Machina, uh,
Invincible,
Invincible, or BoJack Horseman, stuff like that.
yeah.
Or Inside Job is another one.
Inside Job is another one. Yeah, there are things, but I think though with this, I think Vox Machina and maybe Invincible are better suited for this because Inside
Mm-hmm.
Job and Vox Machina, Inside Job and BoJack Horseman, sorry, they are more sitcoms. They are more in the adult animation as the Simpsons and Family Guy are.
Fair.
And not, so like in the sense that they have gore, obviously there's violence there, but it's not like you won't necessarily see like dragon insides burst all the way, right?
Yeah, no, fair,
This is
fair.
more uh, anyway. Carry on the
Yeah.
next paragraph.
This new series already has some serious star power lined up. My apologies. Jack DeSena will be reprising his Dragon Prince role as Callum. This is the person that plays Sokka in Avatar The Last Airbender.
Yep.
And your favorite, and mine too, he's a great guy, Dante Bosco, Zuko in
Mhm.
Avatar The Last Airbender, will be dramatically expanding his role as Zim in The Dragon King. As well, we have Liam O'Brien of Critical Role fame joining the main cast as a new character who is poised to disrupt the world order of Zadia completely. Before we say anything, here is my thought from before. This is basically Liam O'Brien had his OC dragon character he wanted to play in the Dragon Prince, and he's the one that this is funded for. This is all
I
about Liam's Dragon OC. Do not steal.
I,
No, I
I
love
that's
you,
the
Liam. You're great. That's me.
That's That's the funny thing to me because they're keeping it they're keeping it kind of like, oh, who is Liam O'Brien voicing? Is this mysterious guy? 100. I am willing to bet you 100% that he is the forgotten Dragon Prince
Yeah,
that's
it
coming
it
to cause
sounds
shit
like
up.
he's the new, like, this new big character basically, which I'm fine with. Liam's great. He's a great voice actor. I love that we're getting more of him.
Hmm.
And this is also why I think they might have like Amazon already on the fence, because like I assume, I don't know how much connection Critical Role has, but I assume because they've already been Critical Role's already been working with Amazon on Vox Machina and now on Mighty Nine, that this might be Critical Role coming in and saying, "Hey, we have these connections, we can help you out, but you have to do this first, right? Because
I
Amazon won't
think
pull the trigger otherwise."
I think there's
That's
definitely
why I think
something
that.
of that I can't tell you exactly because again, you need to be there in order to be sure about that, and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are not officially there.
That
But
this is all hearsay.
something,
I have no clue. That I had no idea if that's true or not. This is just me
mm,
assuming.
yeah. But my assumption is, because you have the two came in from with with Jack Desana and Dante Basco.
Mhm.
Obviously, there are they kind of, but it helps that these two also had a role to play in the Dragon Prince, right? Like again, Jack Desana
Which
reprising Callum,
role is
and
a
Dante
strong word
Basco.
for Dante?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I was just about to comment on that, but the point is, we heard them in that show.
Hmm,
If
hmm.
you're going to make a sequel where Zim actually talks, and it's not Dante Basco, people would cause a riot. Let's be
I
honest.
think that would have been funny as fuck. But
It-
Dante Bosco
it-
had his one line. He got paid, and he said, "Peace, bitches.
two
I'm
lines,
out."
two lines. No, no, no. Two lines,
Two
my
lines.
dudes.
Ooh,
Two lines. Come
he made
on.
bank on that, man. Two lines.
I think we even joked in the episode that he was that what was he just in the recording studio? And it's like, hey, buddy, can you do that? Thank you. But
Dante needed a quick.
obviously,
He needed a quick cat. He needed some quick cat.
but again, I have to preface this. These are two voice actors that these people are familiar with, and
Hmm.
they're probably in contact outside of work,
Yeah.
right? So there's a good chance that maybe these two they were just willing to show up and do what they need to be like, hey, if you get this funded, we're in. Just tell us when, because oftentimes voice actors are just as eager and waiting for information to come out on project as the fans are. They are the last people to know if something is happening or not. Now, Liam O'Brien, this is a thing where maybe again they just gonna had a speed dial and they're like, hey, care to generate a bit of hype for this? Maybe let's see where this goes
Well, I
because, like you
mean,
said,
I think a
he's
lot
a
of
part
them
of
know each
Critical
other,
Role.
because I know like Dante Bosco's done some stuff with like some of the Critical Role people as well, I believe.
Yeah. But
And
then
like
again, Dante
he
Basco is just like the chillest dude
true,
from what I know. He's
true.
like,
He's up for a lot of shit. He'll
uh,
do most anything. Again, like I said, cool dude. That's why we love him.
yeah. I will say though, if this show actually happens, if and Liam O'Brien doesn't scream at least one point, I am not weak, 0 out of 10, worst show ever. If you got it, you got it. If you didn't, well, what can you do? Anyway, shall we continue?
Yeah. So they have two videos of Dante and Liam. I'm guessing advertising the Kickstarter and the show and everything. You
Yeah,
can
that's
watch
basically
those
what
if you
it is.
wish. But yeah, we continue on Dragon Prince, the Dragon Prince, Arc 3. So our first mention of Dragon Prince, other than Zim up above,
Yeah.
this is our first like
And
actual
And
reference to the
again,
Dragon Prince.
right, and again, after they say an all new animated
Yep.
series, we suddenly get the Dragon Prince Arc 3. Like,
But then,
so again, imagine if someone who's never heard of the Dragon Prince by any chance sees this, is interested. This is suddenly throwing him into a loop. But
but
okay,
then
let's.
immediately after that, The Dragon King is a new, standalone story for new viewers. The Dragon King.
Fuck you. Sorry.
The Dragon King will fire on all cylinders from minute one. Returning fans will experience it as Arc 3 of the Dragon Prince saga, finding the Dragon King to be a no holds barred payoff to the mysteries and slow burn of the original series.
Slow burn is one way to put it.
Yeah. Filled with high octane, world changing battles and god level tiers of power. The new series finds most of the beloved characters have returned, now advancing into their adult lives to face even more complex challenges. Still
Well,
wondering what you're going to do
I
about Erebos there, buds. Like, is this set
um
after that 7 years? Is this set before?
so
Are we
so
just going
no,
to
I've seen it
ignore
already.
that?
For the record, there is the announcement trailer for the, which is basically nothing, right? It's just seeing how Eros was defeated in 7. Then there's like the logo with a lot of fire there, and by the end you hear a baby crying. The two theories I've seen is that it's either Callum and Rayla's baby, which why not at this point? But
Sure.
two, people said, imagine if when Aravos comes back after all those 7 years and 19 days, he's brought up as a baby.
That would be hilarious. Oh
because
my god.
because apparently
I'm
right
done. If
now the
that's what they do, if
creators
that's what they do, fuck this show. You had all of that. You came back for an arc 3 and you said, we can't do anything about that because Erebos is basically unstoppable. Fuck it. He comes back as a kid. No one knows. Moving
it,
on.
you remember
Fuck
that
you.
you remember that scene in Avengers Endgame where they try to travel and Scott Lang comes back as a baby and like the Hulk goes, it's Scott, yeah, as a baby he'll grow. I can just this tell me they wouldn't fucking rip that joke in this
And the
but
sad thing is that's a theory, but you can like this show would do something stupid like that to avoid
and
dealing with
and
it,
you know something, I just minutes before
and it
recording I
pisses me
started
off.
I saw like a quick Q&A with the creators of the show. People asked them like questions about Arc 3, and they kind of asked. I don't remember what the question was, but one of the creators was like, "You need to watch out for Claudia." How much? Like, tell me.
Motherfucker, I get you people love Claudia, but fuck off with her. Let her die. Move
Well,
on,
eh, so
please.
apparently she was busy in those 7 years. I am telling you, if the freaking arc for her in season 8 or the entire arc 3 or what the fucking ever is going to be that she accidentally brings Aravos back as a baby and becomes the mother to him and raises him, and that's what teaches her about life or some shit, I am shooting my monitor.
What are we doing with these characters in this show? Like I kind of want it to get funded just because I want to see what they fucking do. You know, I want 3 seasons of this just to see what they fucking do. Because
Honestly,
like that's the only reason I kind of like would be willing to fund this, just because of morbid curiosity more so than anything. And it's basically a tug of war between, will the sane part of me win out and say, no, I do not trust them enough to even remotely give them money, or the insane part that says, fuck it, we ball. I want to know what the fuck you do because this show is just so dumb at times and I don't
but
understand it and I want to see the ending of it. I want to know. Like,
well,
fuck.
I tell you this much. For one, I completely get you, and two, for the record, just because we joke doesn't mean that it's actually going to happen. We are half joking around because we don't know.
But
The only
some of
people
these
who know.
jokes you could legitimately see this show doing, and that's the
That's
sad
the
part.
and that's the problem though. But then I want to say some of those jokes we can totally be in the right for making, and but the thing is though that I still don't think that's just even ironically, it's not worth the price of paying for something that might not even happen.
Mm.
It's just this thing where because if you were to tell me this is the show I'm going to this is what we're actually going to do, I'd be like, if people want to throw money on this, good luck. I'll just tune in afterward and say, wow, you spent your hard-earned money to see this being made. Okay, sure.
But the rest of the Kickstarter, there's a small blurb about, hey, Dragon Prince fans, come help us do this.
Hmm.
And then,
We're getting there. We're getting there, and then so the next paragraph, basically.
yeah, like the big thing is the plan, right?
Yes.
So preface, I will give them credit. They are at least upfront, like we are doing this to more so gauge interest. But what it says is telling a great original story in a new IP, this isn't new, but anyways, is
Oh
challenging.
fuck you again. Line in the first fucking sentence of the plan.
I
This is
don't
not a new IP.
I really don't get why they want to like I really don't get that part, right? Like why do they want the Dragon Prince, the Dragon King to feel like a new thing? Like I get it's technically a new show,
But
but
that's the thing that
it's not
it's
new.
confusing. It's so confusing though because you know what? Let's play ball and say this is a new IP. You still have the same characters and same voice actors coming back,
It's the
right?
same world too.
It's the same world. It's a direct continuation. There's even a good again. It's they are promising you that this is Act 3. It's not a new IP. That's
But yeah, that's
bullshit.
I just don't get why they keep doing that. Like they really want to preface this is new, this is new, this is different, but it's not. So why are you doing that? But anyways, like why are you
Again,
trying to
I just want
distance?
I just want to say I am
It's
fully
just
aware that I
weird.
said that the Mighty Number 9 campaign was shit, but at least when they said it's a new IP, they were freaking right because they couldn't touch Mega Man because Capcom has the rights.
Yeah.
There it made sense to have a new IP.
Yeah,
Here
Wonderstorm,
you
like you
can
said, Wonderstorm owns everything as far as I'm aware.
yeah, that's the thing because it's not like Netflix really owned the IP as far as I'm aware. They were just the people funding and airing it. So what is the idea? What is this new IP bullshit that's going on? You can say that it's aimed at an older audience.
Unless
Years later, may technically make it a new
Wonderstorm
show.
Wonderstorm
You can say
is yeah,
whatever.
this is Wonderstorm. Wonderstorm is behind this. So it's just weird that they feel the need to do this. You know?
Yeah,
Just weird.
it's again, it's so many mixed messaging in a way that it shouldn't cause that much confusion because you are banking on the Dragon Prince fandom to come help you with this because this is the continuation that they want and deserve for that matter.
Mm.
Don't tell me this is a new IP. No, it's not.
It's very weird. But continuing
Mhm.
on, with this
Yes.
Kickstarter campaign, fans will have the power to show what they want and how badly they want it while building unstoppable momentum for the series. A strong demonstration of support here on Kickstarter will give us the ability to find the right partners who can meet all the funding needs to bring a world-class series to life. Proving the series this way will allow us to create the series we all want with an uncompromised creative vision.
This is business talk too. Netflix didn't want to give us money. You give us money.
That and either we have some people in the background that we've already talked to who might be willing to pull the trigger, but we need to show them that people want this, or we have nobody and hopefully we get enough support for this so we can get convince someone to do a thing. It's one of those
Mhm.
two, and mm, one of them
Either
you'll
one is not
probably either one has problems, but one of them you may not get anything if this doesn't pan. Even if this pans out, you still may not get anything. The other one, if this doesn't pan out, if this does pan out, you're gonna get something. But it's mm, 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 mm.
well. Anywho,
And we have one more important reason for fundraising in this way. We want you to be a part of building the vision for the Dragon King with us. We are invoking the fandom, calling on you to bring all your powers to bear to help us supercharge this series. When we launch the campaign, you will learn about some truly unique ways to get involved behind the scenes. Join us on this journey. We can't wait to share more.
How you do, fellow kids? That's the slang. That's the translation of how they'll talk.
It's
We are invoking the fandom for this new IP, mind you.
I
Er, I was too angry. I can't. No.
I fine, fair enough. It is what it is. I'm curious what these unique ways to get involved behind the scenes will be. We'll see.
Then there is that, and apparently they promised a first look
Yes.
coming very
A
soon.
first look is coming soon. And then just, follow the Kickstarter and you'll be notified. And then the rest of it's just like some little blurbs about.
And then they have like a picture of Bait saying the legacy of the Dragon Prince. Again, saying the Dragon King is a new IP is like saying that the Hobbit is an IP to Lord of the Rings.
And then they put some quotes from like different outlets and reviewers stating how cool and great the Dragon Prince is, basically.
Used to be, mind you, used to be.
True. But yeah,
This is.
that's the Kickstarter.
If it wasn't RBS, and I'm sorry if I destroyed any of your ears, listeners, but not a fan. Not a fan at all.
Very fair. Like I said, I'm on the fence at best. I'm fighting with the morbid curiosity. I will admit.
But I will say, and we probably mentioned this earlier, but I have to state, if you want to support this and you are sure that this is what's going to lead to getting more of this franchise,
Or even if you
don't let.
don't care and you just want to support
Oh,
it
yeah,
anyways.
yeah. Even if you want to support this, more power to you. I will never take this away from you.
I think
But
it's
at the
it's
time,
worth saying, as we mentioned before, if they're using this to find partners for this show to help fully fund it, because you need to go into this with the understanding, right? If they don't give it to you in the Kickstarter, which I figure they will, but if they don't, if they neglect, quote unquote, to mention this, understand before you choose to give this any money, you cannot make enough money on Kickstarter. I don't believe any Kickstarter has made more than like 10 million bucks, I think is the highest one, I believe, something like that. I don't remember.
well, again, it depends on the project, and also it depends because again, we have to state, and we might have to make a follow up at some point. But as of right now, the Kickstarter hasn't even launched, so we don't even know what their goal is. Because if they're not whatever the goal is, they need to at least hit that. If they don't hit that,
So
we are not getting nothing.
So basically, the highest funded Kickstarter, according to a quick Google search, was I believe a 3D printer. It's a Eufy makes printer, made $46
I
million.
should ask you, what's the biggest Kickstarter campaign for like a TV or movie or check
Believe,
for like a category because you can kickstart anything.
yeah, I know you can, but I was just saying, like, like giving that as an example, $46 million. Even that's not really enough to make a full season of a show, and it's definitely not enough to make 3 seasons. Let's be clear.
Yes.
And that's
Like I
$46
said,
million. Like, it takes a lot of money to make an animated show of any
mhm,
variety.
yeah. And essentially, let's say this is just speculation on my end, right? I'm just speculating here. I think in order to actually get this pilot, whatever they're planning to do with it, funded, we are talking about an estimated goal of like 800K, 900K.
Yeah.
Again, I'm throwing a number based on what I personally know. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
tell
fair.
you for certain.
Yeah, like it could be more, it could be less, but generally speaking, a pilot episode, like that's how much they might want for a pilot episode. That's just a pilot episode. That's one thing that gives you probably like the first episode, maybe a little bit more, but like basically the pilot episode would kind of be a just here's what you can expect from this. Here's what, we're going to be giving you with this. And here's what it'll look like, stuff like that. That's how much that would cost. You're talking about 3 seasons of that amount of money for
Mhm.
however many episodes they have per season. Say it's 12 episodes, bare minimum that amount of money per episode. That's a lot.
Yeah. And especially keep in mind also that a pilot isn't necessarily the opening episode.
Yeah.
It could be much shorter.
Yeah.
If an episode of Dragon Prince is like 22 minutes ish, a pilot could just be 14 to get the general vibe going,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even 10.
Yes.
It really depends.
Yeah. So yeah, like go into this understanding that that you are not funding the show itself. You are funding
Mhm.
either a pilot episode or you are giving them money to show, hey, I am interested in this. So they can get the full amount of money they need from a much bigger company like something, like Amazon, Netflix, Disney, Warner Brothers, studios like that. Those are the places that have the income to fully fund a show.
Mhm.
But they just weren't
Honestly,
interested for whatever
I
reason.
have to say, the one thing I just thought about is that would make me laugh my goddamn ass off is if Paramount gets it. Because you know what else Paramount owns? Nickelodeon. And what's under Nickelodeon? Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That'd be
All
hilarious.
coming for
That would be
all coming.
funny. All
It
comes
would be freak. It would be so
full
fucking
circle.
funny that essentially some of the people behind Avatar: The Last Airbender went away to work on what is essentially a competition, only to end up back right when they started. Kinda.
Fuck, just imagine if it's like, hey, we're putting it on Nickelodeon. Everybody,
Well, not necessarily either Nickelodeon or Paramount Plus. You know,
Paramount Plus. That'd be so fun. You're right. I would laugh my ass off if we've partnered with Paramount. Fuck, that'd be absolutely hilarious. It would.
well,
So good.
and then maybe we could see Zim and Callum and Azran in the next Sonic Racing game because
Hmm?
as you all know, they are using those Paramount connections now to put SpongeBob and Aang and the Ninja Turtles in the next. I'm not joking. This is a thing that happened in this year.
Yeah, fair.
Well, anyway, back to the topic here. One final thing, I guess we kind of touched on it, but let's assume this is getting made. They made the pilot, and network picks it up. Please, Paramount, please do it for us, please. So they pick it up. The 3 seasons is happening. We're getting a full arc 3. What would you want to see? Don't say a finale because I think that's what everyone wants to see at this point.
I want to see a finale that, actually feels like a finale. I mean, I've been mentioning it, right? I you can't give us an arc 3 of the show and not do something about Erebos, right? Like he's there, he's looming. What are you gonna do? As I've mentioned before, if Erebos comes back and is a child and has to grow into his full strength again, fuck you so much. I swear.
Yeah.
I don't
I
want that,
think. Go ahead.
but it would be an ending. But like I as of right now, I sit here saying that is not something I would like at all. Now that's a joke thing that we came up with here, right? But
But the fact that the baby at the end of the trailer is Erebos coming back as a baby, that's not us
yeah, no,
making
it's
it.
not us,
I
but
was
like
just
we joked
bringing up
about it.
a theory that I've seen
Yeah.
somewhere, but
So yeah,
who the
like
fuck knows?
definitely something with Erebos. I think, God, I don't remember. Fuck me, it's been a while. I believe like we had some sort of kind of still of a fallout between Callum and Ezrin, kind of maybe like
No, they resolved it really quickly. It's like, hey, we were angry at each
I want to
other,
point
brothers.
out
Cool.
though, and it's the same image we're using for our podcast here, for the background and everything. they do have Ezra sitting on this throne with Zim behind him, and both of them look angy.
Great.
They
Yeah.
don't look
Well.
great. They look like they're in a bad space, kind of in a
Mhm.
way, right? So like, are we getting evil King Ezrin question mark? So it's like, did they resolve their fallout, but there's still kind of a fallout anyways? Question mark.
Which is also interesting because they mentioned that Jack Desena is back for Callum. No word on Ezran, even though we see him in the thing, and he's also the closest to Zim.
I'm gonna be real with you,
So,
right? If Ezrin looks like, looking at this image, and this is how Ezrin would look like, if they had the same voice coming out of him, no, no.
well, to be honest, this is also the thing. I joked about this when we did season 7. It's kind of amazing that this is like two shows in a row where the kid actor didn't have his balls dropped throughout the show twice, both in Avatar and in this. The kid still had the same voice throughout the entire show, so which was impressive. So, but I don't know, considering how long it like to make this, a good chance that his balls dropped by this point. He'll have a deeper. Maybe.
I No, not the same voice at the very least. Hopefully not. If he can't do like an older voice, get someone new.
Mhm.
I'm fine with that.
Well, yeah, but either way, yeah, Azran does look mighty pissed, and he's also. Well, we know that 7 years have passed. You can just unless. Can you imagine that if the first season is just going to be a build up to Erebos returning, it will be like 7 years have passed. Well, we have 19 days and
This is why I'm
that.
asking. Like, are you gonna do it? Is is the entirety of this arc gonna be set before Erebos returns? Right? Is Erebos like, we're in the lead up to that? Like season 1, 2, maybe season 1 and 2 are basically like, oh, it's getting close to the time Erebos returns. And then season three of this arc is all about Erebos because he's returned now. Or is this entire
I
show just going to be before Erebos returns? And if you want to see the ending to Erebos, go fuck yourself. Or join us for Arc 4.
I tell you, if they do an arc 4, I am boycotting anything in this show after that. Because again, I have to say, I said it before, I'll say it again. If it ends up happening, I'll watch it, and there's a good chance we'll come back here to cover it, no matter how it. But if they end up pulling as the same stunt again, and it's like, oh, we actually did have plans for an arc 4. No, no. If you make this happen, end it. For crying out loud, just end it. Some things need to learn when to end as well.
No, fair. I mean, it's just there's a lot of weirdness here. It's like, again, it's a brand new IP. We're talking about basically a forgotten and different dragon prince other than Zim. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's just a lot of weirdness about, again, and I guess that goes hand in hand with this fucking show. This show has consistently just been fucking weird at times,
Hmm.
especially after the first 3 seasons. Like, it started off, it's like, all right, this is a normal show, and we've just progressively gotten more and more weird with this shit, and I just do not understand it anymore.
Yeah,
It has
and
baffled me more than once. Like, Claudia and her character arc is all over the place. The shit
what
they do
arc?
sometime, what arc?
What
That's
arc?
also
She's
fair.
the same. And also, again, when they say keep an eye out for her, why? End her
Like,
story already. She's the
I
only character that
still,
doesn't go
I
through anything.
still haven't forgotten the people who were like, Claudia's Azula. The fuck you mean? The fuck are you
Well,
trying to tell me? What are you trying to
to be honest,
gaslight me into believing?
no, I think what people mean by that is because in a way she's like the villain's daughter, and and she has a brother that starts on the wrong side but turns good. I see what people like. If you had to
No,
compare,
people were genuinely trying to say that Claudia has Azula's character arc.
no,
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 she
no,
don't.
no, no. I'm not implying that at all. If anything, it's kind of sad that Azula's arc of just becoming more and more deranged and psychotic a much more compelling arc than whatever the hell with Claudia, who who seems to be flip flopping between maybe I'm doing the wrong thing to nah, I'm doing it because I need to. No, no, just
It's
stop,
just weird.
stop.
It's just weird. It's just
Mm.
been a weird show. And now, like, instead of focusing on, hey, you wanted to know like what was going to happen after that 7 years with Erebos coming back, we're going to really hit home on Erebos and talking about Erebos, the supposed big bad that we were all focused on and still kind of are focused on based off the ending to season 7 because he's coming back in 7 years. You focusing on a brand new Dragon Prince that's like gonna, have some issues with Zim? Why?
Tell you what, in the more we're talking
It's
about this,
weird.
I think I kind of want to bring this up earlier. But you know what I think would have made this a bit easier to swallow
What?
if this was happening years after season 7. And by
Mm,
years I mean at least 5, maybe 6 or 7 years, a decade. If this was like this story that was left unfinished for all this time, maybe it would have been an easier pill to swallow.
that's fair.
But as is season 7 of the Dragon Prince, it's not even a year old, I want to say.
It'll be a year this December.
Yeah, so it's only been a few months, and we already get a Kickstarter for a brand new IP, quote unquote. This is just, it's because if this happened like a decade after, maybe I'll be able to tell you, yeah, now what? Screw it. Let's hope that they actually get to finish the story now. Let's see what they got after all of those. But it's not even been a year since season 7 came out. This we didn't have the time to miss this world. We didn't have the time to beg for more. It just gonna came out of nowhere, and suddenly it's our money's job to save this.
Agreed.
So the point of the matter is, honestly, screw it. I am not going to support this. I am very sorry. But if you wish to support it and you think we're just blabbering on and you don't we have to say,
Fair.
I hope you get what you're going to pay.
Yeah. Again, I wish them the best, right? I hope they succeed and it goes on to be an amazing show and an amazing arc 3 because I get to
Because,
enjoy that. And I get to
mhm.
be like, you know what? It had its up and downs. It wasn't perfect, but at least it ended good. I can say that for the Dragon Prince finally. Currently, I can't say
And
that because I did like this show. And there's still things
yeah,
about this show that I like. There are just other things about this show that frustrate the hell out of me to no end. And I do not understand the choices that they made and why they made them.
and as we said time and time again, the reason we're so angry about
Because we
fail,
liked it.
it's not because we are passionate about this show. We liked it when it first came out. We were there covering it since day one, basically.
We're here talking about a damn
We-
Kickstarter for it.
Yeah, yeah, that's the other thing. We barely do something like this. That is just an announcement of a Kickstarter for a known franchise. We don't do that.
We might be sitting
We
here telling you
basically
we won't fund it, but that doesn't mean we don't enjoy it.
Mhm. Honestly, the one reason I wanted to make this episode is because I just had to get it out there that I like this show. I want the best for it, but the people behind it just don't know what the fuck I mean.
Mm,
It's like, and from what I've seen, I I know we're not the only ones who think that, but
nope.
to each his own. I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe. mm,
fair.
mm,
Like I said,
Oh
they may get me to fund it, but I have to see the full Kickstarter before I make anything. And even then, I'm probably not funding it because I want
no,
to support it. I'm
I
more so funding it because I hope it gets made out of morbid curiosity. I want to know. I want to see.
I am
And
not going to fund it personally. I'm not going to
it's a hard
I
maybe.
but
It's a hard maybe.
I just know for myself I'm not going to give my hand in this because I just
Fair,
don't trust these people.
fair.
Kickstarter is something that needs to earn your trust with a good pitch. I've supported Kickstarters before.
Mhm.
I'm really looking forward to one of them being finished hopefully next year. But otherwise, this is just something that doesn't have my trust. I am sorry to the people behind the show, but I am not going to be a part of this unless it comes out.
Fair. That is very fair.
Anything else? So, anything else?
Can't wait to see the launch? Question mark.
Uh,
We might be back here to talk about that. Or if it
no,
does get its funding and gets made, maybe we'll be here to talk about The Dragon King Season 1. Until then,
who knows? Who knows? All I'm going to say is that this was, but sometimes we have those. Anyway, that's all for this episode of the Outcast. We hope you enjoyed it. What do you think, Dragon King? Are you excited for it? Are you going to donate for it? Are you also over these people's shit like we are? What do you want to see if it ever gets funded? You can tell us all about it in the comment section below, on our Twitter, which is Berkcast with a capital B, capital C, and on our Tumblr, which is Berkcast Team. So until next time, I was HC.
I was Wolf.
And we will see you all in the next episode, which we promise you won't have to crowdfund. Take care.
Bye bye.